Let me ask you a little bit about what James Comer said to you the other day, you and Amanda, talking about how Joe Biden was always within range, is what he said. And well, that sounds bad, but what does it do for Republicans? How do they take from within range and kind of connect the dots here? Because within range is pretty broad, and they've got to kind of narrow it down. And it all smells very fishy, very sketchy. But how do you connect the dots? Because that's going to be the challenge.
So last night on the show, a former FBI senior executive, Kevin Brock, former intelligence chief, a guy that looked at foreign intrusions into the country for a living, said there is now enough evidence in the public domain with what James Comer's put out there, what's been on the laptop, things that we've broken, to warrant a full investigation of money laundering and foreign bribery, the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. Now, what's ironic about that is that the Obama-Biden Justice Department, about a decade and a half ago, resurrected and created a new initiative to go after Foreign Corrupt Practices Act violators, foreign countries that would pay a U.S. official or some countries' official money to get access or get results. In that reinvigoration of the law, they did a new memo, and the memo says, listen, the money doesn't have to go to the politician to make this Foreign Corrupt Practices Act bribery. If it goes to a close family member or an associate of the political leader and actions occurred, well, then that can result in bribery statute. So you see in the last memo, a lot of people miss this in the last memo, but in the last memo, James Comer said, listen, Joe Biden doesn't have to get the money for this to be a bribery scheme. Last night, Kevin Brock agreed that is the case. I think the big thing now is we know money flowed. We know the people who paid the money had serious business pending before Joe Biden. If you're Burisma, you're worried about the Ukraine prosecutor. If you're the Romanian oligarch, you're trying to get your corruption allegations removed in Romania and money flowing back to your company. If you're Elena Batterini, you're trying to get access into the U.S. banking system. So we know all these oligarchs had a reason. Here's the last piece. I think Republicans have to show that Joe Biden took some action. He himself took some action to change U.S. policy or affect U.S. policy at the request of or to the benefit of Hunter Biden's clients. And I'm going to tell you where I think this is going to show up. We're going to go right back to where we started this whole scandal back in March of 2019 when I wrote the first story about the videotape of Joe Biden saying, I threatened to take $1 billion away from Ukraine, and son of a B, they fired the prosecutor I wanted fired. Well, for the last 4 years, we've been told time and again that decision was official U.S. policy. Joe Biden didn't change policy. He was just carrying it out. So the fact that it impacted his son's company, no big deal. I think that story is going to fall apart in the next couple of weeks. Stay tuned. We've got some new documents we've obtained through litigation and through sources. I'm going to put a whole new spin. If Joe Biden changed the policy for his son, meaning he went against the U.S. Government's recommendations, did something different than what the government expected him to do, that I think escalates this into something much bigger. The proximity becomes actual action by Joe Biden. That's what I'd be watching.